All right. So I'm just going to start us on our Substratum docs page. So let's just start with an introduction. What is Substratum? The idea is you want to be able to keep your memories just like Google Drive, Google Photos, OneDrive, Dropbox, you name it. But the idea is you can self-host it. So there's a lot of tools out there like Image or Nextcloud. They're pretty heavy, and or they're very focused. Image, for example, is focused only on photos. Nextcloud is focused on everything Google Drive can do. What I wanted was something that allows me to have essentially what a network access storage functionality, but distributed amongst my siblings, my family's houses. So let's say that there's a tragedy, or a fire breaks out, or you're just the most realistic tragedy. Your computer burns out. That happened to my Nextcloud instance. Computer was dead. Gonzo. Suddenly, only my backup drives were left, and now I have a $200-something computer I have to go replace. And I never really did. My idea is something that I've been stewing on for years, and over the last few years, tools have emerged that allow me to pursue this. I'm going to pause my son Venus, C418, good music, but we'll get right into it. So, Substratum is the base layer. Think of it like the topsoil, the earth. So that's really what substratum means. So if we were to go look what substratum means in general, it refers to an underlying layer, a foundation, or a supporting base. Now, all of our data is the supporting base. So I just wanted to kind of level set that the idea that I have is data is the basis of everything we do in technology and our lives, whether it's your tax refund information, your personal photos of your childhood or your own family. I want to be able to support everyone to be able to host their own, but also use a Google Drive-like experience, a OneDrive or Dropbox-like experience without the vendor lock-in, without all the risk. So you sign in with tools that you already know or websites you know. Blue Sky, Tangled is the development tool that I host this service on, or this code base. You have copies at home and copies distributed at your mom's house, your sister's house, your brother's house. If they have a computer or phone, anything that is running Substratum's network that's private, you can choose, and they can also offer space on their devices and vice versa. So you can have the most important files saved more than just in your own home. And more than just one data center that is really a single point of failure, Amazon or Google. That is kind of the dream here, that if you pay your electricity bill, you pay your internet bill, and you have a bitchin' computer, or even something pretty standard like my Motorola Razr, it's not the Pro version, it's not the top of the line. How many cores does this thing have? It's got to have over like 8. It's got many gigs of RAM, at least like 500 gigabytes of storage. I have all my photos on here. There's no reason I couldn't share this with my computer, with all of my other devices, as well as my family, to be able to allow them to safely, securely know that their data isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So in these docs, I have a Why Substratum page. It helps families keep photos, videos, and important files in several places at once, not only on one laptop or one box in the basement. You get to choose where copies live. So this is the North Star that we're heading towards, or I say I'm heading towards for now, but I want to expand this to a community that can help build this as an open source project and have a SaaS cloud offering that is modest and transparent. But you can have your parents' house, a sibling's house, or even your phone that will store save copies through the Substratum service and network. They'll stay up to date, and if one place fails, your files are somewhere else that you can trust, not just some company. No vendor lock-in. The idea is that you can leverage the logins you know and love already that use the technologies based on AT Proto. So AT Proto is authenticated protocol that Blue Sky created that allows you to own your data. Not Instagram right now, if you upload your posts, you don't own it. They own it. They can market with it. It's awful. The same is true with a lot of these storage providers, that you're not the one who owns your own data. And if you break their terms of service, they can just close your account and you can't get it back. With Substratum being built on top of authenticated protocol, AT Proto, you own your data, you own your identity. Substratum's network or website is just a means to distribute that at a common name, substratum.cloud. But the intent and the foundation of it all is you're the owner, you control this information. Right, Halo? Right, Lily? Yeah. Leave the cats. So the idea is to be able to share your data, and think of it like copies of those old Polaroids or those photos that would be in the basement. And you have many copies, your mom would give you one, you'd have one, your sibling might have one of like a family photo. That's the idea of this, is you all have one. If one is lost in a flood, well, your family has it, and you can take a photo of it, or you can copy it. So that's the idea of this, and to build on technologies that you can trust. So I'm not going to read this whole document here. There's a technical specification, how you can get started if you're a techie like me. But this is really going to be geared towards the normies in the world. So without further ado, I've got an installer here that I've created that will allow you to install from scratch. And we're just going to close that. See here. So you'll see, I call it the triangle installer, because to have a private network, you have to have 3 devices at least to be a network. I mean, you can have one private interplanetary file system node, which is the technology this is built on. It allows you to have what's called a peer-to-peer connection. Think of it like Skype or other kind of calling tools where they talk to your computer, I talk to yours. There's no intermediary, or there doesn't need to be. So there's only a home server or self-hosted offer right now. At some point, this will be offered like a Google Drive or a Dropbox solution, but that's not going to be right away. I wanted to focus on, can I make this installed on all my devices? All my devices share the data, because I could have terabytes of data if all my devices are available. Right now, I have 2 terabytes on my desktop, I have a terabyte on this MacBook, and I have 500 gigabytes on this phone. That could total somewhere around, was that 3.5 terabytes of data. That would be accessible to me, and I can store, say, my tax return on all 3 of those devices, and keep my photos on my phone, and maybe just on the MacBook, and any permutation from there up. So in the advanced settings here, you'll see that we can select from Blue Sky's login, which it refers to their PDS, personal data server. This is what means you own your data, you own your identity. If you want to leave Blue Sky, you can. You can come to Substratum's version of the personal data server. You can host your own on your own machine if you want to have this completely private. It's not really public to the internet, but these devices talk to each other. And then you can have one that points to another service that offers the personal data server. Let's say I spin one up on DigitalOcean, they make it like 1 or 2 clicks to do. Or if I was to use Tangle.sh, for example. That's a development tool that I've been playing around, and that's where this code base is actually hosted, because why not use AT Proto's technology from the very start? So I'm going to use Blue Sky. That's the one that I know and love. That's how I'm going to start on this. So I'll just kind of show off a little bit more of the internal config. So these are the advanced settings. It starts with Blue Sky as your login from the get-go. If you're a techie like me, you can look at what ports are being used, because if you might be running other services, try to build this so that way it's not going to collide. These are non-standard ports. It's going to run the server, which gives you all the security and things that you know and love and expect in an application. And then the API gateway, which is an added layer on top of it, which is Interplanetary File System has a concept of a gateway. That allows Web 2.0, non-like blockchain-like technologies to talk to Web 3.0, which is what Interplanetary File System ultimately is a blockchain or a ledger of all the files you have, or at least a record that says, I was here for a file, and then it points where to go find it. So this gateway API is what not only protects your data, but this database is what makes it easily available for the UI. So it'll say that these are all available, so on and so forth. There's a few areas to it, the File Explorer UI, some background services, encryption at rest kind of philosophies here. So now I'm going to go to my device discovery. I'm actually running a Tailscale instance here, so I'll show that here. My Razer phone is not online, so let's put it online just to show the class here. Let me open up Tailscale on my phone. So the idea is if you want to self-host this, you'd use a VPN like Tailscale, and this installer does depend on that for the moment. I'm going to turn it on, and so we should see that turn green here. You'll see, so now my phone is available. I'm going to auto-triangulate, and right now this is built for my own, and so you'll see it just connected and set the names according to the devices that I have. So I'm going to generate the identities. So what's an identity? So because this is a private network, I need cryptographic, secure identifiers per device, per node in the network. So this is going to create a unique and private cryptographic identity for your device. And they never leave your hardware. This is how you identify who you are. So it's this big letter number combination. Think of it like a complex password or fingerprint even that identifies each device. So we're going to generate, I can generate next if I need to rotate them. And I already have this server installed, so what I'm actually going to be doing is I'm going to be upgrading to the latest version of my app. So I'm going to say that my data should be stored at the home directory, the root of my MacBook Pro. I could put it in the complete root here, but I'll put it under my user's root. So this is if you want it installed for all users or just this user. I'm going to make it just my user for now. I can configure 100 gigabytes because since I've been developing this, I've been chewing through my terabyte. And we're going to put it at 80 gigabytes of warning. So when I hit 80, we'll start warning the user, hey, you might want to shift your files around or add more storage. So now we're ready for liftoff. It's going to install our gateway application, the database, and the interface that allow you to go through to the app. I'm going to express install, and you can even see the logs here as it's doing that if you want, if you're a techie like me. So you'll see that we've got our logs on it being installed. And it's actually pretty quick, and since I already have it installed on my computer, it's going to pretty quickly open it up. So you'll see it just opened up my application. So I'm going to show you here, this is my personal Blue Sky account. And I'm going to log in with Blue Sky's PDS, Personal Data Server. And I've already put in my password and said always work that. So you'll see I have work documents and personal drive. You can see that I have content I've already uploaded here. So this is a website I worked on. So I can double click. I can open up a file. This is a GIF that I've uploaded for a website I was working on for a local restaurant owner around here. I have a grid view, as you just saw. I can change it to be large grids. So you'll see that. If you it should be familiar. I mean, I'm essentially building a Finder or File Explorer for based on a distributed model. This idea that this could be on the web, just like Google Drive. It can be on your device. It can be on your phone. It can be at your mom's house, your sister's house, your brother's house. And that way we all share our resources together and preserve our most valuable memories. So you can see that you can change the size of your content here through the grid. It's taking a second there to load. We also have a list view, and then what's called Miller columns, or this kind of tree structure that allows you to see different layers to your file system. So what if I want to share this? So before I get to sharing, I'll show you the properties, just like if you were to look at a file in Finder or in your File Explorer on your Windows device. It'll show you what kind of, what's the name, the file. For example, if I was to do this on the personal drive, or I can do this here, say on my work drive, you'll see the path is work documents, it's the type of drive, no one is shared with it. I'll go the same here. You'll see the name of it, it's a folder, and here's the path. So it's in my personal drive, and I'm the owner of it. No one has access to it. And so we'll go back to the GIF that I was showing here. So I've got the path, I'm an owner, and this concept of a receipt, this is how we're able to keep in sync who has access, who has revoked access, that sort of concept there. So what I'm going to do is I want to share my file. So I'm going to share this with, let's see, I have my, what account would I do? Let me look up a user that I'm following on BT or on Blue Sky. I'm not even thinking of one off the top of my head. Let's see. I have a test account I can use, and I'm already forgetting it. So, say migration tester. I guess I will go searching for that here real quick. Bear with me. What did I name that? So I was working on a tool that I called Flock that built off of Instagram to Blue Sky technology that this guy Marco created, and I helped enhance to support video. So let me see. Blue Sky. So my password manager. Yeah, so Insta-migrate. Let's use this user here. So you'll see that I have a user that I've been playing around with for Instagram migration. So I'm just going to share this with that. You'll see that there's a icon here that means shared, and that it's syncing with that user. Because this is a peer-to-peer network, I need to let your account know you have access to this file now. Probably not going to show that too in depth in this webinar, but I just want to be able to show you kind of the idea that we're headed towards. And I have a macOS app. It's installed here, which is pretty incredible. So I've got the installer. I can close that. I don't need that anymore. But now, Substratum exists on my machine. You'll see I have quite a few of them, but you can ignore that. It's because I'm building it and it searches everything that I've built. So you'll see that now will be shared. And I guess I want to show a little bit more here that the list view, the grid view, can show, for example, this GIF as well. And I have others that I can upload bigger data. So I just have more, pretty much a similar thing going on here. And I even have a video uploaded of showing it off instead of the GIF version. So you'll see that. So it's all available this way. So I want to show you a large file upload. And so I've been doing this. Let's see if I can find it. It's probably in my downloads. So I'll show you guys this one here. So let's say I'm uploading this photos. You'll see that it already uploaded near instant. This is a restaurant I was working with. Maybe we're getting an error on showing the video. That's weird. I've not seen that before. Let's go here. I guess what I really wanted to show was the fact that I can upload a large folder and how that will look and feel. See if I can find my Instagram. What you call it? See if I can find a better one. So you'll see a lot of these similar folders that I've been uploading. You see it has that pause, so I can pause it, and I can start it. It goes a little fast because it's not a big folder. Let's see. I'm just going to go into... So let's say I upload this Instagram folder nested here. It's going to take a second to register. So you'll see that it's a really deep nested folder. I can pause the whole thing. I said I can pause the whole thing. So this is a really big one. You'll see preferences is already completed, and it's going to take quite a while to upload. It's about 1.7 gigs. And I've done this on and off, which is why I don't have so much data left on my machine, because I keep uploading this folder over and over to really show off how I can pause and replay. So this is going to take a while to upload, but this is kind of the sneak peek into the macOS Substratum app, and I wanted to kind of give a sneak peek into the beginnings of this application. So without further ado, I'm going to continue going back to our why Substratum and kind of show off a post of Substratum comes to life. So this was after just posting today that there's a macOS desktop app that I've created here there are definitely going to be wrinkles to iron out. The goal is to have a Windows, Linux, and even Android. This kind of gets into some of the nerdy details of the tech stack. I'm using a tool called Mithril.js, which is really cool. 8 kilobytes JZipped, or gzipped, jeez. And the app itself is under a megabyte, so this thing will load blazing fast. I chose this tool because it's battle tested, and also one of my favorite game creators, ArenaNet, who created Guild Wars 2, runs their trading posts on this, and I wanted to have a little more experience. With a shameless plug of hire me, ArenaNet. I love what you do, and I think you guys produce amazing games and experiences. So this is just a sneak peek into kind of the blogs that I'll continue to post, and I wanted to give a webinar on kind of where I'm headed with Substratum.cloud. I even have a previous post when this started, and I want to show off a roadmap that I came up with 5 years ago, I think, at this point. We'll see what the timestamp says here. So, I mean, I updated this last year, but let's see. What was this README? Yeah, 2020, so 6 years ago. That's a little frightening. So you'll see I have this roadmap here. So I picked the name Substratum logo. I'm on version 1.30. As I've iterated, you'll see that I added Blue Sky as a hosting provider, kind of one of my dream social medias where freedom of speech is the crux of it, but also having fair moderation and protections for folks to be able to report content that is heinous. But the idea is Substratum is going to be the first base layer. It's going to use Web 2.0 technologies that login, which is using Blue Sky's AT Proto login and personal data servers. I'm going to have to create cloud deployments, continuous integration, continuous delivery to be able to deploy and build this app. And that way you all can download a macOS installer. It's not ready yet. It's not for prime time. But I just want to show where this is starting and where I want to be. And then the private network keyring service, or like the idea that those secure identities you saw and how we can rotate them. And then when it comes to the Web 3.0, some of this might be a little dated, but the idea is an interplanetary file system secure node. I want cloud hosting and local hosting, so that's where we are today is local hosting. Cloud hosting will come later. And then be able to create more extensions to protect the network, because once this becomes popular, we're going to have to do more. I mean, private networks in and of itself gives us a level of protection, but we're going to want to deal with malicious peer detection and prevention. Let's say your mom doesn't know how to use antivirus and somehow their computer got hacked. Well, you want to make sure that we're able to protect your data as well. Encryption at rest is one mechanism we can use, and whole host of other alternatives as well. Streaming optimization, that's where, when I wrote this roadmap 6 years ago, interplanetary file system has come a long way in how it serves content and uploads content. You can upload gigabytes of data now, and it'll, without blinking, you'll be able to handle it. It's one of the reasons I chose Rust over the JS version or the Go version, because Rust will have memory performance. It's a really clean architecture, and I can compile it down to WASM in the future. And that kind of gets me towards Stratum network. So Substratum is the foundation. Stratum is this vision, this North Star that is beyond Substratum and the storage concept for families. It's the idea that we can use WebAssembly or WASM for a compute layer and make, just like I want to do with having your mom, your brother, your sister, your friend be trusted peers in your network of storage. We can have trusted peers to run the apps that we're working with. So one day, let's say Substratum's gateway could be compiled down to WebAssembly, and now we're running it in private network clouds. And now there's a distributed compute beyond a single point of failure at DigitalOcean and Amazon or Google or Microsoft Azure. Like, we could have everyone running the code. So again, that vision of mine where you pay your electricity bill, you pay your internet bill, you've got a bitchin' computer. Why not help people run the services you love? What if Substratum as a company doesn't survive because, let's say, monetarily it doesn't work out. Well, I want the code to be able to run. I don't want you to just be stranded. The idea of using these technologies makes it so you can migrate, but I want to take it one step further. That if the organization doesn't continue, at least the code can always operate. It doesn't go away. So the idea of Stratum will be essentially bringing these cloud services, but to a distributed network compute layer that doesn't exist. So there's a lot of, like Ethereum has attempted it, Nostr have attempted it. I want to be able to bring it into something more down to earth. So that's kind of the idea of Substratum and Stratum. And then one day a social media, like Blue Sky is almost that vision fully realized. That's why at the end here I've added Blue Sky hosting provider with simple terms of service, because Blue Sky did it. I want to be able to give more of a YouTube or Reddit experience and integrate with other companies, give a paper trail for actions or censorship that has to happen. Let's say that you post things that are really heinous, or like the headings or any of that sort, or community stream doesn't want that, right? There's plenty of places on the internet to find all this crazy stuff. It won't be a site that I host, you know? So this is kind of a rundown of my vision for the internet at large and how we all pay our bills. We should be able to run the internet without it faltering every time there's an outage with Amazon, an outage with Google, an outage with Microsoft. The internet was designed by DARPA to handle a nuke, and today it can barely handle a glitch in the system. So that's kind of my soapbox, and I just wanted to share with everyone the work I've been putting in on my weekends and late nights to be able to see this vision of mine through and build a service and tool that people might actually want to use. So with that, if there's any questions, I'm here on Code Coffee Cats on YouTube. I don't use it too often. I've streamed a handful of times. You'll see that I've got, let's see, got my channel dashboard. Let's see, no, I probably have it here. I have like video game streams. I have all sorts of stuff that I've done over the years. IPFS is the tool I've used. You'll see my Guild Wars 2 streams, some of the T3 stack explorations, some Java work I've done. I've used IPFS as well. So I had a name on Twitch that was the Rambling Developer. So if you haven't realized, that's pretty much how I roll. But yeah, so this is kind of, just want to give people a peek into the work